Charlie.
Good afternoon, Eric. The weather isn't stopping any plans for the bonfire remembrance ceremony here at the Academic Plaza in the campus of A&M. Normally these ceremonies are held on the site of the 1999 collapse, which is less than a mile to the east of here on the polo fields. But the construction of the bonfire memorial has changed those plans, where this year they expect to meet in front of the statue of Saul Ross. They've erected a tent due to the weather, and we'll have more on this story coming up at 5. We'll hear from organizers. And at 6, we'll also have coverage of the ceremony where the parents and victims, or family and friends and parents of the victims, are expected to be here at 6 o'clock to light candles, one for each of those that perished in the collapse in 1999. We'll have complete coverage of that tonight at 5, 6, and 10 here on News Star 3. We're live from the Academic Plaza at Texas A&M. Charlie Haldeman, News Star 3.
Thank you, Charlie. And as Charlie said, if you're wanting to...
The worst tragedy to hit the Bryan College Station community. Today, friends and family are gathering at A&M to remember those lost in the '99 Aggie Bonfire collapse. News Star 3's Charlie Haldeman is live from the campus with more on bonfire remembrance. Charlie?
Good afternoon, Michelle. The weather has seemed to have changed some plans as far as the planned ceremonies for tonight in the bonfire remembrance. Behind me is a white tent, and inside is pictures of each of the 12 or 11 students and one former student who died in the 1999 collapse, complete with a Ross Volunteer Honor Guard. Now, we were just told minutes ago that the ceremony scheduled for 6 o'clock has been moved to the MSC Flag Room. It will be moved indoors to the Memorial Student Center Flag Room, and that is where friends and family will gather for tonight's ceremony at 6 o'clock. One more thing to mention, tonight at 2 a.m., or rather Tuesday morning around 2:42 a.m., the exact time that bonfire collapsed, we will have coverage of the ceremony. It's not so much as a planned ceremony as it is that All Britain Bell Tower will toll 12 times, once for each of the 12 who died, and we'll have complete coverage of that, as well as coverage from the MSC Flag Room coming up tonight at 6. We're live from the Texas A&M campus. Charlie Haldeman, News Star 3.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Now at 7 o'clock, workers helped pull him to safety.
It's been 4 years since the 1999 collapse of Aggie Bonfire. 12 people were killed, 27 were hurt in what became known as Texas A&M's darkest day. This week, the campus community is pausing to remember those who died. News Star 3's Charlie Haldeman is live at Texas A&M with the latest on bonfire remembrance and the events planned for the next 24 hours. Charlie.
Joe, most of the student body here at Texas A&M were in high school when Stack fell, but that hasn't kept people from coming by this afternoon to Academic Plaza to pay their respects to those 12 who died 4 years ago. The Aggie Corps Honor Guard, that's a regular sight around campus in the morning and in the afternoon, tending to Old Glory. But the sight of 12 pictures with candles in a half circle, that's not such a regular sight on campus. Plans for the outdoor ceremony have been stopped for now. A&M officials have moved that ceremony to the MSC Flag Room, which was scheduled to begin moments ago. Now, organizers of Bonfire Remembrance tell us they hope to make this an annual event, much like the somber Aggie Muster and Silver Tap ceremonies.
It would be good for every year to remember and honor the lives of the people who we lost, and also the people who were injured at the time as well.
Now, the weather may have stopped the plans for the outdoor ceremonies, at least for this evening. 6 o'clock scheduled ceremony. Again, it's in the MSC Flag Room, but people have been filing by the Academic Plaza as well as the Memorial Student Center all afternoon and into the evening, and we'll have complete coverage of tonight's ceremony on News Star 3 Lakecast. We're live from the A&M campus. Charlie Haldeman, News Star 3.
All right, thanks a lot, Charlie.
Serious injury.
It's been 4 years since the 1999 collapse of Aggie Bonfire, where 12 people were killed, 27 hurt in what became known as Texas A&M's darkest day. This week, the campus community is pausing to remember those who died. News Star 3's Charlie Haldeman is at Texas A&M with the latest on bonfire remembrance and the events planned for the next 24 hours.
Joe, many of those involved and attached to those who were injured and who died in the 1999 bonfire collapse gathered at the MSC Flag Room this evening for a remembrance ceremony. They're echoing sentiments we received from those who we talked to was that they'll never forget.
12 candles, one for each victim, burned as a reminder of that burning desire shared by those who died. Friends and family members gathered in silence to remember their lost and reflect on the past.
Hopefully that them not forgetting will make sure that if and when Bonfire ever returns to campus, they won't forget the mistakes that were made that caused the tragedy to start with.
My dad here, as he was telling you, He hadn't missed father-son cut in 7 years now. We've done this with the family for a long time.
Caleb Hill was one of the 27 injured in the collapse. 4 years later, Hill is back at Texas A&M working toward his degree. Hill was one of the many in attendance who came to remember what happened and pay his respects to those who did not return from STAC.
It's been a lot of hard work to get to where we are today, and I say that not for myself, but for everyone who has worked on this, on the memorial, on the victims, the injured, on getting them all the help they needed.
November used to be a time like no other on the A&M campus. In addition to the weekly football ritual, there was also the smell of fresh cut wood and the crackle of a fire. It was an atmosphere and a culture that many insiders described as that burning desire we heard about tonight. Despite the tragedy, many of those who came to remember say they still have that burning desire.
We're seeing a senior class, a class wearing their senior boots that have never seen a bonfire burn while they were in school. And that's something that pains me to think of, but I don't know what the right answer is. And we just have to proceed from here and work it out one day at a time.
Now, we're live here at the Academic Plaza at Texas A&M, where every year you see many events related to Aggie muster. And every month, the Silver Tap ceremony, organizers of the Bonfire Remembrance ceremony that's going on both today and tomorrow, they hope that that ceremony joins those two hallowed traditions. We're live from Texas A&M. Charlie Haldeman, News Star 3.
All right, thanks a lot, Charlie. Early
Bonfire. 12 people were killed, 27 were hurt in what became known as Texas A&M's darkest day.
Now this week, the campus community is pausing to remember those who died. News Star 3's Charlie Haldeman is live at Texas A&M with the latest on Bonfire Remembrance and the events planned for the next 24 hours. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Mike and Barbara. We're live from the polo fields where just a few hours ago, hundreds of people gathered at the site of the 1999 collapse. It was not planned. It was not exactly an official ceremony. The actual official Bonfire Remembrance ceremony took place last night in the MSC flag room. The friends and the family members of the victims and those injured we talked to yesterday kept telling us the same thing. They'll never forget.
Work it out one day at a time.
Caleb's dad was one of the many who showed up out here around 2:42 this morning to pay his respects to those who died and those injured in the collapse. On a kind of a programming note, on the west side of campus, Albritton Bell Tower, starting at 8 o'clock this morning, will play the Spirit of Aggie Land beginning at 8 a.m. and every hour on the hour until 8 o'clock tonight, in memory of each of the 12 who died on this very site 4 years ago. We're live from the Texas A&M campus. Charlie Haldeman, News Star 3.
All right, thanks, Charlie. It's now 5:36 on